Yeah, my name's Gabe Zollnut. You might want to get over on that Before It's News and take a look at this article that they just posted. Russian Pacific Fleet enters the Mediterranean in challenge to West. Now what's interesting is this is the first time in a decade that a large combat fleet from the Russian Pacific Fleet is heading into the Mediterranean. And they're going there on a combat patrol. Why do you think that is? Well, let me give you a couple of clues. You got this lame brain mcCain who grandstanded by going to Syria and meeting with the commander. This guy's a commander of the rebel Syrian freedom fighters. Yeah, well, you know, who are they? Well, we know who they are. They're Al-Qaeda, for God's sakes. They're the trash that was gathered throughout the Mediterranean, throughout the Middle East. They emptied prisons so they would fight, if they would fight, to try to depose Bashar al-Assad. That's who the rebel freedom fighters are comprised of. So mcCain goes over there to grandstand, and Russia now sends a combat fleet into the Mediterranean. Now this is the first time that they've done this in a decade. Why do you think they're there? They're there to show resolve and support for Bashar al-Assad. They don't want to see him deposed. Bashar al-Assad's father kicked out the Brotherhood 40 years ago. Obama is dying to get the Brotherhood back into control of Syria, the way he helped turn Libya under the control of the Brotherhood, and the way he was totally instrumental in turning Egypt over to the Muslim Brotherhood. You think maybe there's a pattern that's developing here? The problem is, what's Obama going to do now? You got a combat fleet, and I got to believe they're armed with nuclear weaponry. The Russians are there. And what have we got? We got lame brain mcCain shooting his mouth off, beating the drums of war. It has nowhere to go but to a very bad, dark place for all of us. This could be the beginning of World War III, which would result in nuclear annihilation. Especially when you got some whack job in a White House that's never shot a BB gun who can put his finger on the launch of nuclear weaponry. That's really scary. He doesn't need any approval from anyone. He's got that football within, what, 3 or 4 feet of him at all time? Isn't that a nice reassuring thought? We got a guy that we know allowed Americans to get slaughtered, did nothing to prevent them. We've got a guy that we know turned the Middle East on fire. We got a guy that we know, according to the Secretary of State, John Kerry, who said they've been training and arming and funding the freedom fighters for the last year in Jordan. What else do you need to know? This world is on the precipice of nuclear annihilation. And it all started with the usurper that's in the White House. Who else do you think started this conflict across the entire Middle East? The Arab Spring was the beginning of it. What a joke. What a complete joke. It's scary, folks. This is real. This is really scary.